It's really hard to be bullied by those who you love the most.
Receiving threatening text messages and voicemails.
I was dressed kind of like a boy and I wasn't very girly.
Torture.
She and her parents don't really talk that often.
It's really hard because I'm proud of who I am.
She just doesn't have her family to support her in this.
And she cried about it, and it was really shitty.
It hurts.
No protection whatsoever from anything that was going on.
I wasn't like all the other girls at my school.
And I think, like, I wish that I could just go back and, like, beat the crap out of all those people.
Saying homophobic things.
I feel kind of threatened physically.
It drives you nuts. It drove me nuts.
That I'm gay, that I have a girlfriend, that I have so much love for all people around me, and that sometimes I can't get that in return.
Where did you see that? Okay.
Let's be honest, which side is my better side?
Let's be honest. Sorry.
Wait, seriously, we can switch if I have a good side.
You don't have a good side, however I do.
Woman, please.
Should I say I'm a Nova Lax bra or just Nova Lax bra?
Can you see your shirt?
I don't know. Can you see my shirt? You have to see my shirt. It's so important.
I like that line.
Yeah.
I'm a professor and I'm from Jamaica and I support you.
Wait, oh crap, this is why I'm bad at icebreakers. Does anyone have any idea?
Wait, what should I do? Girl, you're not playing this right now.
Being involved with the military and the Navy specifically was hard not being able to tell people about my sexuality. I had a girlfriend coming into the Navy, and it was really hard on the both of us just because it was hard for me to keep the secret, and like a lot of my friends in the Navy would be talking about their boyfriends back home and being able to visit them, and I couldn't say anything about my girlfriend. And I feel like there are some people that I could have told that wouldn't say anything to the officers, but there's just that chance of like, what if it got out, or what if someone did like slip or say something, or if it is someone who is homophobic or just thinks it's wrong, just would say something to the officers in spite. And I don't think that any of them are out to get me or would do anything like that to hurt me, but at least I would hope not.
In terms of sexuality, I was only out to my girlfriend at the time in high school. I dated one girl for 3.5 years throughout high school, and I realized somewhere in the middle of high school that I wasn't straight. And it didn't, I know some people have, at least talking to people, some people have a whole internal conflict thing, and I didn't have that. It was very kind of matter of fact, which is how I see it.
I actually had no idea she was gay until we were about to live with each other, and I was telling her about some issue I had with my previous roommates, and she was like, no, that's fine, but I don't think you want to live with me. And I was like, why? She was like, well, because I have a girlfriend. I looked at her, I was like, are you kidding? Girl, that wouldn't change anything.
I didn't see it as an issue initially. I didn't see it as an issue.
I think there are a lot of people out there who do not think that they know anyone that's gay. I think every single person in this country
knows somebody who's gay.
And so it was just like I had finally told everyone and I was finally out at home. But then coming to college, I was just kind of forced back in the closet and back into secrecy.
And they might be very heavily closeted or afraid to tell you or anything. But I guarantee you know people that are gay and probably people that are very
And
close
you love
to
them.
I mean, I'm left-handed too. I've kind of thought of being gay as being left-handed in a way. Like, maybe you can change it, but like, why bother? Diversity is the spice of life, kind of thing.
I don't go up to people and be like, hey, I'm Julia. I'm gay. But
you could.
I definitely don't keep it a secret. Honestly, freshman year, I was so scared for anyone to find out on my team or...
I remember that.
Yeah, I was so terrified to tell her. But now it's just a non-issue for everybody that I have told. Sorry for the people I haven't. Hello. Hope it's not an issue. But yeah, you just have to be yourself, and I would hope at least that the people who just found out a second ago would take into consideration my personality and what you have known about me before this moment.
There's no reason to apologize.
I was bullied because I wasn't like all the other girls at my school. I was very quiet and low-key, and I really enjoyed going to school, and I went to school in the inner city, so enjoying school wasn't really something that kids did. They went to school for other things, and I enjoyed the actual academic aspect.
Like, academically, I still worked really hard, but socially, it was just miserable, and I felt like a social pariah for like the last year and a half of high school, and that was really uncomfortable.
And I wasn't exactly like the most attractive of all the girls at school, so that also kind of added to me being bullied because I was dressed kind of like a boy and I wasn't very girly. So then I'd get picked on by the other boys at school because they just weren't interested in me. They told me that I was ugly and things like that, and then the other girls would kind of scoff at me and be disdainful because obviously I wasn't interested in what they were interested in.
Dealing with being harassed, having people scream dyke at me in the hallway, having someone in my chorus class scream tell the dyke to shut the fuck up when I was talking to the teacher, and you know, throughout all that kind of stuff, I would wake up in the morning and just not want to go to school.
I honestly don't think the people who bullied me realize this, but their small actions completely crushed my entire life.
After the person screamed at me in my chorus class, I went to the principal, and he was just like, okay, we'll do something. And I don't know if anything was ever really done. When I was receiving threatening text messages and voicemails from people in the high school, they would be like, well, it's outside of school and it's like using technology, so we can't do anything for you. So I just had like no protection whatsoever.
That I was still young and all the other girls were kind of getting older much faster than I was. So I was upset that I couldn't like look like them. But then I realized that it just wasn't my time, that I would have my moment and that I would be better for it.
She has kind of a large issue with her parents, as in like they do not approve of anything.
It's really hard to be bullied by those who you love the most. Friends, parents.
She felt like her mom would be shocked initially but then be okay with it. And it was like the reverse. Her mom like pretended to be okay with it, and then all of a sudden like freaked out and started making like really rash decisions that were not in the best interest of her daughter.
What I really want from this video is, you know, to reach out to people and to help people out, but showing my face, it's terrible to say that, could give me more trouble.
So when she went home for break to spend with her parents, it was like really uncomfortable and like really painful because not only could she not be who she wanted to be, but she felt like she had to fit this mold that her parents demanded for her.
It's really hard because I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of my ethnicity, of that I'm a woman, that I'm gay, that I have a girlfriend, that I have so much love for all people around me, and that sometimes I can't get that in return. It hurts. But I've learned that there is help out there. I've found acceptance, I've found love, and I know that I'm not alone. And sometimes I have felt really low, I have felt that I have no one beside me, but if I take the time to look around, I know that, you know, there are so many people just like me, and we just need to not be afraid to show the world who we are.
Obviously it's really difficult for her, but luckily my family has been really supportive and they love her and everything, so it's really cool when we hang out with my family that I think it feels good for both of us.
It is our job to notice students in need. It is our job to reach out to them.
There's one student in particular that comes to mind who he had come out to his parents when before his senior year at Villanova, and his parents said they would not pay for his last year. And he did come back and he got a lot of support, emotional support from us, and he managed to figure out the financial piece of it. But it broke his heart that his parents really held his sexuality against him when that wasn't something he could do anything about.
Now, some of my colleagues would disagree with me that it's not our job to get involved. Our job is to teach the material in the classroom, and I disagree with that.
I can't even tell you how often people talk to me in my office and say, I'm so different from everybody else here. You're not. Someone was just here a second ago in my office saying they were so different from everybody else.
He had felt very close to his family, but it was a terrible pain and hurt that they did. And I suspect they did not realize how much they were hurting him. And I understand now that they have repaired that relationship. And so it does get better.
I think that people become bullies because they're actually intimidated by the people that they're bullying.
A lot of bullying stems from the fears that somebody has, and those fears usually, I think, come from somebody's own sense of inadequacy.
Just from my own experiences, the people who bullied me were people who did much more poorly in school than I did, or had really broken home lives, and I had a really good relationship with my family.
Part of the fear or part of the indifference is probably due to a group mentality, in the sense that they don't want to associate themselves potentially with people who they feel are outside of the norm.
Or I was just adventurous enough to either dress differently or be into different scenes than they were. So bullying, I think, comes out of their own insecurity.
I think that bullies are made from the bullying that has occurred to them, and it's just a phenomenon that's sort of been passed on through time. And so when you yourself want to be a bully or think or have an opportunity to bully, every time that you decide not to prevents it from continuing with another person.
Think about other people. Think about how your actions affect everyone, and think about who you represent every time you do something.
Lay off, suckers! Like, shut up! Everyone has differences.
I would tell them to take a really good look at themselves.
I'd probably tell them to take a really, really good look in the mirror.
I don't see a need to just, like, be a jerk about some stuff, you know? Like, we're not in middle school anymore.
Now, you know, again, looking back at the people who gave me hell.
You know, you gotta grow up and you have to realize that, like, people are different.
They either lost themselves in partying and drugs.
You can't escape it just because you're in school.
Or went away to school for like a semester and then dropped out and came back home and scampered back to mommy and daddy.
It's gonna happen in the real world too.
So they're the ones that ultimately are socially maladjusted.
You know, I just think you gotta relax and like people can pick on you for your own faults, but in the end it's not worth it. I just think respect everyone and let live.
I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't exposed very much to gay people in high school, but it was definitely looked down upon more so in high school.
It won't last long. It will get better.
When you get to college, everyone's eyes open bigger, I feel like. People are from different backgrounds, different parts of the world, different sexual orientations, different religions, different everything. And you just have to be more accepting.
I think that high school is a small little world of its own, and once you get to college, the world just expands.
And so you can tell a couple people and not the whole campus is going to know, and you're not going to just walk down the streets and everyone's going to say, oh, there's that gay girl.
The kind of bullying that you see in high school is just, in my experience, so different from anything that can ever happen in college.
College is a completely different experience from high school. In college, or at least here at Villanova, I feel like somebody that thinks negatively of homosexuals is the minority, is the large minority. And I think my experience freshman year was not the case, was not normal at all.
And what you'll find actually is when you get to college, the people who are changing are the people who were intolerant or who did say things that were hurtful or behaved in a way that was insensitive or unfeeling.
It got better for us.
I have to be honest, I was definitely a little wary because I grew up in like a harsh Catholic environment. People were really like on your backs about like sinners or like anything that doesn't fit. And so I came to college with that mentality and I was like, uh-oh, like, you know, inside these walls, I don't know if like I'm gonna be like shot down or something.
God made you who you are and how you are and all the things about you. So God only makes good things. That's what the Bible tells us, and all the religious books of all the different religions tell us that God only does good for the world. It's human beings that take good and sometimes misuse it and be unkind or misuse the good gifts that God has given us. But you're a good person. You're made by God. You're made out of love. God is love. Anything to do with love and being kind and good to other people, that's about God. And our job as human beings is to respond to that, to accept that gift and to try to celebrate it and share it with other people.
There's not a God that's going to deny someone just because of who you decide to fall in love with, or decide is a bad word, but who you do fall in love with.
Me and my friends can be ourselves. Me and my girlfriend can be ourselves. And I actually have a bunch of friends who are really religious, and they're in full support of me and my girlfriend.
It's just like saying, oh, I'm an athlete, I'm an artist, I'm whatever. You can be whatever you want.
It's like I'm not advertising it, obviously, because there's still a lot of adjustments being made, but it feels like a huge weight off my chest, not being afraid and not having to hide it.
People are afraid of the unknown. So if you have never known a gay person, probably all you think of them is what you see on TV. You see the flamboyant gay guy or the really butch lesbian, and that's all you know. So you're scared, and it's a daunting thing to hear that somebody is gay that you know, and you're like, oh wow, does this have to change when I think about them? Like, what do I do?
Not at all.
But I think the more gay people you know, the more you realize that that's not true, and we're very different, just as money straight people are different.
Yeah, I would say it's a lot better in terms of a lot of things.
I think we're all thinking right now in 2011 the issue of bullying, and it's as upsetting as it is to everyone. One positive that I keep thinking about is that we're talking about it.
You have to sort of try consciously, if at all possible, to get beyond the thinking that this is something that doesn't affect me, because it does affect you, and it will ultimately affect you.
The important thing is self-respect.
Believe in yourself. Know there's a lot of people that care and a lot of people that believe in you.
I realize I'm so much better, and that maybe if they hadn't bullied me, I wouldn't be the person that I am. So that sometimes you just got to take a bad thing and turn it around, make it good for you.
I turned it to be something good, I guess.
I was bullied as a child, and it was difficult to not let it get me down. But once I realized that those people only bullied me because they were insecure and that I was amazing, I was such a better person for it, and it doesn't bother me anymore.
You'd be really surprised how much other people are willing to open up to you as well once you've shared a piece of yourself.
From that moment on, I realized that when I found myself, I would know who I was. And since that moment, I have been so confident and just so sure of myself. And I know that anybody that wants to bully me is not a friend, should never be a friend, and they don't deserve to be my friend.
In high school, I was unsure of why people were questioning who I was, and now I realize that it's because I'm awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, they were all yellow. I came along. I wrote a song for you.
I'm straight and I support you.
I'm gay, and I support you.
I'm Jewish and I support you.
I'm Catholic.
I'm an Irish Catholic.
We are Augustinian friars, and we support you.
I'm a sister. I'm a mother and I support you.
I'm president of Alpha Phi.
We're sorority girls and we support you. I'm a Democrat. I'm a feminist. I'm an artist.
I'm a writer.
I'm a student. I'm a Villanova. I'm a band geek.
I play Quidditch.
I'm a launchbot.
I'm a rower.
I'm a nurse and I support you.
I sing, and I support you.
I play the cello. I'm a figure skater. I do service.
I'm from Boston, Philadelphia.
I'm from New Jersey, Texas. I'm from Sandwich, Massachusetts.
Westport, Connecticut.
I'm from Mexico and I support you.
I'm a professor, and I'm from Jamaica, and I support you.
I'm Puerto Rican and I support you. I'm Chinese, Hispanic. I'm Indian.
Italian.
Filipino. I'm a first generation African American and I support you.
I'm a human being, and I support you.
I'm one of many.
I am a work in progress.
I am young at heart. I'm the friend you never met and I support you.
I swam across, I jumped across for